A few things. I got a few other books that I'm not sure about, but it could be. So I'm gonna keep most of my books and then notes kind of like right here for now, just for this video's purpose. Show you guys kind of just some of the items or even information and random stuff. But I just mainly want to try to get this Ouija tarot stuff. I think this is just a regular 18-inch pizza box. And the thing is, I started sketching stuff. This is this yin and yang symbol. There's actually really interesting so I divided I found the center line like 9 inches and things like that, and then I started to go 4.5, then 2 and 2/4. So I'm making these small marks. I would say there's like this is actually 4.5 at the top of that, and this smaller period, like triangle, basically, is pretty much 2 and 2/4. So that makes an interesting situation, and then making the dots on this. This is really the dots or the triangle, and then got a pencil, and then I actually knew where the center line was, so I used something for the center, and then 4.5, and then 3 inches. So the circle is pretty much halfway in the middle of 4.5 or 9 inches, and then 4.5, and then there's another triangle. So the swirl is going to. I could see this mark right here. I can actually make it a quarter. It would kind of blend in, but it would look a little too close to the edge. So it's basically 4.5, which is halfway of 9, and things like that. This box is 18 inches. I've got to redo just a lot of the information. I did some math and things, so the box is 18 inches, and then I measured out the center lines, and then with the tarot deck that I had, I made a small template to match up with and then I drew all the diagonals, and I used this for the this and the ruler and the pencil. So I got enough boxes, basically. The thing is, the tarot. It's how it's supposed to be and things like that. I kind of researched some of the tarot. I've got to actually make a special board with 11 triangles, because so there's three. I'm not 100% sure, like, but there's supposed to be not well places for cards. It's just I'm gonna deal them out 7 decks with 11 cards in each, because there's. This is going to be for the tarot, so I've got to cut. You've got tarot 78 tarot cards, and if you divide that by 3, you get 26. So what you could do is have 3 decks, basically. So 78 divided by 3 of 26 cards. So this is what this kind of reminds me of. A lot of my notes, and even when I planned out the helmet or painted my helmet and stuff, things like just planning. Review this part, the 3x3 square. Let's say I've got a full tarot deck. I split that up. I shuffle it, then split it up into 3, and I'll end up with 26 in each deck. And what I do is try to, similar to the other grids, lay that on a grid. And it's really interesting that this grid with the three decks would actually create first a 3x3 square. So you guys pretty much could figure out, like, you know, uh 20, there's 26 in each deck, but then there could be a quite a gimmick with, basically rounding off numbers. So I have 26. So here's the first nine and the second nine, which is 18. And then the last, the I would say the middle would actually only be 8, since there's only 26 cards. And so the middle card is actually, and I don't know what pattern the middle is, but that could be the main cards, basic, or something like that. When I try to probably make a spiral pattern, and that would be like the ninth, and then this 17th card would be 9 plus, yeah, 17th, and then the rest 26. And basically, if I merge these things together, these three grids, it would kind of form a 3x3 square, with the middle card kind of pretty much not exactly so let's just kind of draw it like that for now. I'm not 100% precise on any of the predictions. And another thing that I want to clear up is reading. And so I need to do the math. So it's going to be pretty much 9 squares, a 3x3. It's going to hold all 78 cards. It's for the 3 deck deal, which I'm not sure about, but so just kind of doing the math. So I've got 27 inches, 3 times 9 squares. So it's going to be 9 of these kind of next to each other. It's 27 inch and then 31.5 inches tall. So 3.5 times 9. And so I've got a tape measure. It's going to have to be as tall as this platter at least. Well, it's going to have to be a little taller, I think, to have 9 cards kind of in a row. And then the other measurement is 27, and it's got to be 27 inches. Is still off. So the board is, to deal out all 78 cards and things, most people would actually just do one deck at a time. There'll be 3 decks of 26 cards, and then I could just gather a few more items, like pretty much some dice. There's different random dice right here, and then there's basically 3 coins. These aren't the actual coins, but that's for the I Ching. This is for the tarot, and I'm kind of at the tarot right now, but kind of drew the house circle. So this is how I kind of laid. There's center lines. Kind of see a few things. Then there's 5 squares in the middle. So this is a 78 deck. You're supposed to take out 1 card and stuff, depending on who's using the tarot and stuff. And also, what I want to point out is actually there's 12 squares, but one of the or around the wheel of life. It's basically a horoscope. So that might be implemented inside of the tarot. Also, there's an inner and outer circle that not too many people know about, but it could pretty much you know, and you know, things are kind of overlapping each other. So I've got to really show off some of the dice, I think, and go back to some of the items, just to help you guys separate, or you know, stay kind of like, you know, just have a few things, and items, a pencil, and then an eraser for any mistakes. And then I've got like a string. I could use a string or something, or you know. So this is most of the stuff besides for the tarot. So yeah. So as an example of how things are, so this 5.5 is there, and this is 4.5, which would actually kind of dissect through there, through this other square, and the 4.5 would actually be in the square and things, which isn't that bad, which is, you know, I think I would have. And then yeah, and then adding and editing a few things. Definitely want to keep things organized. I need to get a headlight and things, because this flash on this phone isn't that good for working while working stuff, but it should be pretty easy, I think. 4.5. All right, so I remarked everything 4.5. You kind of see, and one of the telltale signs that I did it good is 4.5 there, and then on this side it's right on the edge of that square. So now I just connect the marks, and then you know, it'll be good to have things painted and things. And also this 4.5, it's going to be obstructed by the squares or the cards, but marks are right there. So now you kind of see a few things. I might even keep both of those just until I start painting. And you know, there's even, you know, the marks inside of the squares and stuff are still yeah, I think I'm gonna do symbols. Okay, so I know the tarot, I got the yin and yang sketched out. And then the last two symbols on the Ouija board at the corners, I don't have a planchetic, so, but I did research a few things. Actually, they have a special like insignia on their cards, their berserk cards, and it's actually a Star of David and a triangle. And I, you know, each of these corners can represent something. You know, the mind, body, soul, things like that. Um, can actually, you know, guide the whole seance or the focus. Kind of redoing some of the letter spacing. I should have had the G and the T right in the middle, and it looks pretty good, I think. Besides, some of the edges are a little larger, so I gotta take those or you know, clear those up. I think so. I'm just kind of basically sketching out as much as I can, and using you know, just heating this actually looks pretty nice, I think. I'm probably gonna draw. Yeah, I think I should do the moon. I was thinking maybe the yin and yang sign was the moon, at least at these, just to double check if there's 3 inches at this corner. Let me get the ruler to make sure. Yeah, I could probably. Yeah. So. All right. So I got one. So both of these squares. The thing is, there's really. Oh, gotta have a piece of silver, or respect the Regi.